and it's called the Latino National Republican Coalition.
That's it?
You have a hand.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for the invite. Thank you to our speakers. I mean, they were illuminating, they were instructive, and motivating. So I hope that I can come along here and help to top that and compound on that with you all by being a little bit controversial. My remarks may be a little bit, move you a little bit outside of your comfort zone. But if we're not outside our comfort zone, then we're too comfortable. And Republicans cannot afford to be comfortable in these times. So we have to take up the challenge and the gauntlet and be ready to fight. Because if you not realize that we are now in a cultural war, in a spiritual war, in a political war, then we've already lost. And the target of this war are not us anymore. It's not us. They're not after us anymore. They're after the next generation of kids. Because as we've been saying about Ronald Reagan, he was right. It's not passed on in the bloodstream. And our opponents know this. So they want to indoctrinate your kids, and I'm sure many of you are experiencing having a lot of combat with your own children and your own grandchildren. Am I right? Yeah. You're trying to teach them good values and good principles and American values and American principles and republicanism and Americanism. And they are rejecting it, are they not? So the fight is on, folks. So I'm going to try and pass on to you a few weapons that you could have in your arsenal. First, let me give you a little bit about my background, if I may indulge in this time. My name is Anthony Mele, and I'm the New York State Chairman of the Latino National Republican Coalition. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I served in the 3rd Infantry, the Old Guard, which provides sentinels at the tomb of the unknown soldiers. I served in the Defense Intelligence Agency, the Intelligence Security Command, the United States military training missions to Saudi Arabia, and at the Pentagon for the Assistant Chief of Staff for Army Intelligence. And then I moved over into the private sector. I earned my master's degree in conflict management and conflict resolution, worked as an international bodyguard for diplomats and the former deputy director of the CIA, two former deputy directors and former DDIs, and a variety of other persons in this area. And then I developed my business, AMI Global Security, as an international arms dealer and firearms importer-exporter. And as you all know, here in the free state of Florida, you're not experiencing ammo shortages, limitations on guns, what you can own, let alone what you can think. I am deep behind enemy lines in New York State. So I am pleased just to be here. Matter of fact, these days I'm pleased to be anywhere. So the thing is that, what can we do now? What can you do? This was all instructive. You know all these things already. You grew up on these things. You know these things already. What we don't know is how to fight. And the first thing you have to know about a fight is that you're in a fight. And as one of my good friends will be discussing a little bit earlier, said, well, what you do? What will be the strategy? What is the tactic? Let's beat them at their own game. When the Democrats are turning around and using propaganda against us, let's use propaganda against them. When they turn around and are selling us their goods, let's try and sell them theirs. And I responded, how do you beat Bruce Lee? With Kung Fu or with a gun? Good. Right? You heard me. With a gun. We can't beat them at their own game. They're too good at it. They are too good at it. So we have to change tactics. And much of this has to do with grammar and grammar fraud. So if I may, let me give you just a few notes. And it may push you outside your comfort zone, but if I don't push you out of there, I'm not doing my job. The word minority. We are not minorities. Latino, Hispanic are just attached to Republican, and Republicanism are just a flavor. You do not have to be Scottish to eat at McDonald's, and you don't have to be Asian to eat at P.F. Chang's. And you do not have to be Latino, Hispanic to be a member of the National Hispanic Assembly or the Latino National Republican Coalition. Join us. We are one team. We have one end game, and that's to prevent them from conquering us. And the way they're doing it is they're doing it psychologically. We are in the midst of psychological warfare. And what we learn in intelligence and intelligence analysis is there are no coincidences, only causes. Only causes. Now, the word minority has been changed from what Webster's dictionary says it is. Minority has come to mean and associate with skin color. And so they are now controlling the way you speak. You're uncomfortable to speak about culture and ethnicities and such. So if they control the way you speak and limit the way you speak, then they also control and limit the way you think. Because what comes before the word? The thought. So if they're not controlling speech, they're controlling thought. And you have to resist this. So the word minority means less than. And I'm going to take a moment here to help all of you in this Republican club to train you how to address the next generation who's going to use these words against you. When they say the word minority, it's come to be equivalent or a metric for skin color. That is not true. The word minority comes from the Latin Spanish word means less than. The word majority comes from the Latin Spanish word major to mean more than. So why have we, in my generation, have been brainwashed to call ourselves less than from the time of this big on? Why is that? Why do we call ourselves less than? Why are they calling us a democracy and not a republic? Because in a democracy, the majority rule. And so therefore, if we brainwash the generation to believe that what your skin color denotes what you are, that you're always less than based on your skin color, no matter how many you are numerically, you will never rule. Only the majority will rule. Because they got them brainwashed to think and denote that skin color is associated to whether you're majority or whether you're minority. Now I'm going to prove to you that there are no minorities in the United States of America based on skin color. In the United States of America, we all get one vote. One vote. One vote. Now you explain to them, or ask them to explain to you, how is my one vote less than your one vote? How is one Latino, Hispanic, Asian, blah, 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 whatever vote, that one vote, how is it more or less than my one vote? It's not. So therefore, there's no minorities. The most endangered minority in the United States of America is the individual. We have to go back to teaching individualism. I do not want to be equal to you. I want to be better than you. That's right. I want to be better than you. I don't want to have as much as you. I want to have as much as the good Lord can put in my hands and effort and talents to get on my own. So stop coveting and looking for others to get it and see what others have and get your butt to work. Okay? And then turn around and say, oh, we want to save the world. We want to do this because of this. Really? Take them by the ear, take them to their room, open up their sock drawer, and say, you can't even organize your sock drawer. You got your underwear, your undies mixed with your socks. Organize your sock drawer, fix your bed, and then come talk to me about saving the world. All right? We are in a fight. Make no doubt about it. We're in a fight. They're not after you anymore. They're after them. And so these are the tools that you're going to have to use to win this fight. Now, as the Latino National Republican Coalition Chairman in New York, as I said, I'm deep behind enemy lines, I have no doubt. But I'm in the leadership business. And businesses are booming. Businesses are booming. A leader is measured not by how many followers you have. Remember this. Tell these kids this. A leader is not measured by how many followers they have. A leader is measured by how many more leaders you make. How many more leaders have you made in this organization? How many more leaders have we made in the Hispanic Assembly? We better get in the leadership business because businesses are booming and business is good, cousin. Business is good because the people are hungry for leaders. But that's why they're falling for false leaders. That's why they're falling for false leadership, false prophets, and false teachers, because they are being deceived. And the English word for deceive in the dictionary is a very interesting word. You know that? Deceive means that you are fooled, that the veil is pulled over your eyes and you don't know it. So we can snap these people out of it by lifting the veil, because once they see the truth, once we show them what's true, once we show them that makes sense, it cannot be unseen. It cannot be unseen. You have to realize that the media is using mind control and psychological warfare tactics. Of course, if you are constantly bombarded with the same message over and over and over again, you will begin to repeat it. That's why we have been using words like minority and applying to ethnicity. So here's how we're going to do it. Join us, and we join you in one team. You know how? Because we don't have to share ethnicity to have shared principles. And everybody in this room, there are different ethnicities and different cultures, but we are here because why? We have shared principles. We will sit in this room where we can argue about a lot of differences we may or may not have. But I tell you what, there's 3 things we can agree on, and find those 3 things that you can agree on, and find those kids, and make sure they can agree on those same 3 things with you, and you're going to find out that in each one of those Democrat, each one of those Democrat socialists, there's a Republican trying to get out. It's your job to help them get out. Thank you for your time, for listening to me, and good luck. And God bless Donald Trump. Amen.
I want to thank everybody for